Hi guys, so this is my first video blog. I'm pretty excited but pretty nervous at the same time because I don't do this. Anybody who's around me, I don't say a whole lot. I really don't. I'm really good at being like, hi, how are you? I try to be lovey as possible. I'm inviting. I mean, I have my moments. I'm only human. To where I just don't want to talk to anybody, my little default that I like to go into. But with this whole idea and experience that I'm trying to create, it's just to connect with people and have conversations, and I hope to inspire others and help others, and in turn get some help myself. Like for example, like today I'm going to talk about meditations, and I'm having a pretty, I'm stuck in a spot and I don't really know how to get past it. So I'm hoping I can get some insight from some people who are more experienced, because meditation takes a lot of practice. So I want to first talk about so I'm going to say that a lot because I'm not used to doing this. I want to talk about the types of people that I just, want to avoid. So, because I know with this comes negativity, like with anything. There's always a balance, you have the good, bad, whatever. I definitely believe in balances, but I want to stay, like, if you aren't into this, you're the one pushing the watch button or whatever you want to call it, little icon. So if you're not into it, don't watch it. Not everyone's gonna be into this and hear me talk forever, which I hope I don't ramble too much. But just don't listen to it. And I don't want to, comments. And I actually had a really bad experience with a troll not too long ago. They said some pretty hateful things that you would never imagine a stranger saying to you, and it destroyed me for a few days, I was like, because it was that bad. But I realized that it's almost like their job. This person created multiple accounts just to make comments on my account. So yeah, so I realized that it's just their job. Some of these guys get off on that kind of thing to cause negativity, to cause conflict and arguments. So if you're a troll, please just don't comment. I want to stay away from arguments, haters, different types of haters, like angry people, sad people are welcome, because I'm hoping this helps you. But angry, jealousy, it can all just be so destructive. So if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, and you don't have to listen. So and then I want to tell all the people that are excited about this that I'm super excited, and I can't wait, and I love you all, and this is going to be a lot of fun, and bear with me. It's going to be a lot of ums and pauses and me losing my train of thought. Definitely. But like I just did. But so just bear with me, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. I have a little, if I keep looking down, it's because I have a little outline of what I want to talk about, just so I don't start like randomly going off into different directions. When I do these videos, it's going to be me pretty much having an idea of what I want to talk about with you guys, and hoping, getting help and helping others. But it's also just random thoughts, and when you do random thoughts, you think of something, and it leads to something else, and it leads to something, and it kind of branches out into this huge, like, tree of thoughts. And in this huge tree, you can just get that one little thought that kind of just blows up. And it's it's pretty amazing. But before I start talking about but the 3 things that I want to talk about, which I said earlier, I want to explain to you guys a couple of things that I might say so you know what I'm talking about. So like, for instance, if I say live in your truth, or walk in your truth, or I'm living in my truth, it's different from everybody. Everybody's different. You know, everything that's happening in the world is we're all fighting and because we want to prove that we're right and you're wrong, and it really comes down to everybody has different experiences, different situations, different things going on that we all can't agree on everything, and that's okay. You know, and like I said, healthy debates are always welcome, but once it gets to be to where somebody's arguing with you to change your mind, that's when it starts to be a little, you know, they always do. They always get too hostile and all that, being everybody has a different perspective on life, and we can't expect to change that. It's up to them to change it whether they want to or not. So when I say walk in your truth, it means to walk in what makes you feel happy. So like, first of all, for an example, which I don't really like to talk about because it's, again, everybody's different. Whatever you believe is what you believe, and that's okay. You know, that's just how it is. And I want to do one example because it's, I think the most common is like religion, okay? This person believes in one religion, this person believes in another, and they fight because, oh, I'm right, this is how it is, this is how it needs to be, you need to follow this, and this person is just like, no, I don't want to believe that way. So it really doesn't matter what you believe in, where you've come from, what you've gone through, as long as you keep walking in your truth. So if what you believe makes you happy and brings you peace, and it resonates with you, I love that word, resonates with you, walk in it. So I always follow these simple guidelines if I'm like in doing something that's, especially like this, for example, if I'm doing something I'm not sure about, you know what I mean? So it's like, does it bring me joy? Yeah, this brings me joy because I'm doing something that is scary, but I'm expressing myself and hopefully going to be able to help others. Does it make you happy? Yeah, it makes me happy. Same thing, right? Does it bring me peace? Yeah. You know how good it's gonna feel to finally like get my thoughts out of my brain. So let's see, it might be jumbled though. Does it hurt others? No. I'm coming from a place of love, and it's not gonna hurt others. Is it hurting myself? No, it's actually gonna help me grow, even though it might be scary at first. So those things, you always have to ask yourself, am I happy? Does it make me happy? Does it bring me peace? Am I hurting others or myself? You know, and so that's walking in your truth. Simple. And everybody's truth is different. There is no same truth. You cannot push your truth on somebody else. It just doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. And that's what happens with topics, you know. I mean, like I said, I understand healthy debates, you know what I mean? Because like, it's a debate. But when you have something that someone believes in, and you're trying to change, like religion, that's their truth. Let them walk in it. You know, it's not your job to change it. You work on you. So, and the other thing I wanted to, so I'm going to say that a lot, like, this is my truth. This is my truth. It's not going to be, it's for me, you know, you have your own truth. And I'm also going to talk about the shell. So when I say like, oh, today my shell started to started to build itself. What I'm talking about, and I have like kind of like a little story that goes with it. I get it, not like a story, but like it's like a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So when we're born, you know, babies come into this dimension fully engulfed in light, right? So they have like, before they're even like, you know, the moment they are born, before they have any outside influences just pushed on them, they are a ray of light that is loving and full of trust, you know what I mean? So they're just beaming. And as the baby grows up, it starts to get influences from outside sources, right? Coming at it, the way you should be, the way you should act, who you should be, you know, and it starts to build a shell, right? So the more you get older and you have just these different things, like for example, I mean, our parents, you know, they were raised a certain way. Everybody was raised different, and they were told that it was right, because their parents before them said it was right, and their parents before them, and there's just like with schools, you know, like kids, you know, they all have different things that they're good at, and yet we're focusing on one curriculum, and it's not right? So we get all these outside influences, and we're getting conditioned in one way that we doesn't work for our soul, right? So as we grow up, we start to almost build this like dark shell of the person that we're not supposed to be, right? And it starts to cover up the light that you were born with, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna talk about that a lot, and I feel like when you're living in your truth, when you're happy, when you're doing things that scare you, but you know you're living in your truth, it's gonna evolve you, you're slowly breaking open that shell. And you know when you're doing it, and I'll say examples of like, because I'm not perfect, right? I have my moments, and I might say like, oh, today my shell, it started to build again. You know, I started to do my old habits that aren't me. And with that, I'm doing I honestly don't understand it yet, if that makes sense. I'm still trying to figure out myself and who I was when I came into this world before I was influenced by the outside. You know what I mean? So it's a work in progress, but you know when you're getting closer to it, and you know when you're building that shell again, you know? So the more you dive into who you are, the more you walk in your truth, the more that light is going to keep busting through. And like I said before, I'm all about balance, and you can't have the light without the dark, or the dark without the light. It's impossible. So in order to create our light, we need the dark, because the dark is going to teach us how to make our light brighter, if that makes sense. So you'll hear me say the shell, like today, you know, oh, I'm having a bad day, I just resorted back to my default, my shell's coming back on, I just gave up, and I went to my comfort zone, you know what I mean? And it's like when I'm sick, I like to eat junk food, because that's my comfort food. And in the long term, it's not good for me, and you can translate that to my shell getting built up. But so I want to explain those two things. This video is kind of long. I'm so sorry. It's already 14 minutes. Oh well. If you want to watch, you can watch. So I want to tell you a little bit about what I like. a few of my little things that I like it's, I mean, if you look like behind me, it's like Buddha, right? I like Buddhas. I have a whole bunch of statues all over my house. I have a huge Buddha head in my room, what's sitting on my dresser, which I need to find a stand for because it's just massive, and I don't want to hide it in my room anymore, so I need to find a stand for that. But I have tons of Buddhas all over my house. I have crystals. I love crystals. I can never get enough of crystals, and they're beautiful. They all have their own energy, their own unique abilities, which is fun, and you can never learn enough about them, right? I'm still always learning. Everything that I talk about, I am still continuously learning, and I'm just sharing, you know. Okay, so besides crystals, I enjoy studying my chakras, and then that's gonna lead me into my meditations. So I've been meditating on and off for a while, and when I go off of meditating, it's usually because I have an experience that's just so overwhelming, and it's just, it can be scary. It can. I mean, those of you who know and have experienced anything in meditation know that when you experience it, it's nothing like, it's nothing that you've ever seen, felt before. So normally before I start a meditation, I do a breathing exercise, and this breathing exercise actually has kind of pushed me in my meditations. I used to, and I do this every now and then because you have to cleanse your chakras. You have to make sure they're all opened up, right? There's 7 chakras, and then there's an 8th chakra right above your head, and I do that. I try to do that once a week, you know, but when I'm on a hiatus because I was so overwhelmed by the last one, I don't usually do it, and you can feel it, you know what I mean? So at least I try once a week to open those up with a meditation. It's a guided meditation, you know, so that makes it a little easier. But I've been doing this breathing meditation before I start my actual meditation. I like to listen to music, like soothing. I really, really enjoy the flute. I really enjoy that sound. So usually that's what I listen to. Sometimes I'll listen to a certain vibration, like a hertz, and each one does something different and helps you in a different way. But it just depends on how I feel. Most of the time I listen to the flutes though, because it's my favorite. So let me start to talk about what happens to me when I start to do my meditations. First of all, I can't. And I'll talk about why I can't later. It's gonna kind of go together. I can't lay flat on my back. I get anxiety right off the bat. I can't concentrate. I can't get into the zone, and it just, nothing happens. So I have to be at least propped up a little bit, you know. So sometimes I'll put a pillow behind my back, so I'm sitting up a little bit, or and we'll sit there, or you can do a standing meditation, which is kind of weird for me, at least, because I start to get all like this. But I mean, you could do it against the wall, I guess. So when I do my meditations, I'll do the breathing exercise, and then I'll lay down, my headphones in, and I like to lay down for an hour. I think once I start meditating again, I'm going to kind of cut that back, so I'm not like, it was overwhelming. You'll understand. Yeah, so I normally like to lay down for an hour. I usually pick a flute music on YouTube that is the time that I want to meditate, so that way I know when it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to kind of like just stop, and I can either just keep laying there or, slowly wake up. So, normally I really like to sit with, like this, so like my back on a pillow. So when I'm in my meditation, after I do the breathing exercise, I'm laying there, and I know after a while, usually it takes about 5 minutes or so, I'm guessing, because I don't really know what time it is, I feel my body start to fall asleep. You know, my mind is awake. I know that I'm present, right? But my body just feels almost light, like it's one with whatever I'm laying on, the bed, the couch, or whatever it is. You know, it starts to feel like there is no end and no beginning to my body, right? But I'm aware of what's going on. And then I start to feel, normally I lay with my palms by my side facing up, right? And I start to feel like a vibration in my palms. And it's pretty awesome. Like, I'm used to this part. When I get to this part, I'm like, cool, I know what I'm doing, you know, right? So I start to feel vibration. And in my eyes, they're closed. I'm constantly reminding myself I'm feeling the space around me in the darkness, right? You are one with the dark. You are one, you are in this space, and I feel that space. And after a while, it starts to like warp, you know what I mean? It's almost like space, right? Black with like little white dots, stars. I mean, if that's what you want to call it, I don't know. But it starts to like twirl and make shapes like the white dots, and the white dots aren't like really big, you know, they're just like little, they start making this little swirly, you know. And that's where I've gotten in this one of my experiences, which was a really good one. I was pretty excited about it, and of course you'll understand in a second, but I got to that state, you know. Oh, I forgot to mention too, my hands vibrate, but then it consumes my whole body. My whole body starts to end up vibrating, and then, you know, I'm seeing the swirls in my head. But this time, this second to last time that I meditated, I felt my crown chakra. I felt something here. And for me, it was a sign that I was getting information, you know what I mean? Because that's what going through my head, right? And after that, it came to my third eye. And I started to feel something in the middle of my forehead. And then in my vision, in the swirls, I saw an outline of an eye in white, like very faint. Like, it's not like some bright thing that's going on. Everything it's faint. The swirl is faint, right? So I saw like the eye would be small and come up big and then disappear. Be small, come up big and disappear. So I was pretty excited about that. I mean, you can interpret what you want with your own meditations any way that you want, whatever resonates with you, whatever is your truth, right? In any way. And for me, in that moment, I felt like I was gaining information that, even though I wasn't aware of it, what it was, I was gaining information, and something was telling me that I was on the right path, right, to opening up my third eye. So that was fun. But usually towards the end, this is the trick, right? Usually towards the end of my meditations, I start to panic in a way, and it's weird. I just get a random anxiety attack. My heart starts beating really fast, and I try really hard to stay in it and calm down. But it's almost like I know what I'm capable of doing, right? I know what's gonna happen, and my body freaks out. Like, it doesn't want to leave. It doesn't want to leave this safe zone. So it starts to just give me the warning signs, like, you need to, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like, so it, yeah, it's annoying. But I know that I can go way further than what I have, you know, because there's so much out there, right? And that's the beginning. I haven't even, you know, touched on other stuff. But I did forget to tell you this one meditation that I had pretty much right after I had Jordan, which is kind of where all my anxiety started. But it was my first almost like semi out of body experience. Okay, so I do all the same stuff I normally do. Around this time I could lay on my back, and I'll explain explain that later. But so I was listening to my music. I was listening to like what is the 700 or 800 hertz vibrational music, and I'm listening to it, and my body's asleep. Everything's happening like it normally does. And it's weird to explain, but I was laying down, and all of a sudden I sat up, right? I sat up out of my body. Like at first I didn't realize what was going on until I turned and saw myself over there, right? So I'm sitting up in bed. I can hear Michael's up. We didn't live here at this time. We lived in Santa Rosa. And Michael's up, and I can hear the television in the next room, and I know what's going on, right? So I'm sitting up, looking down at my body, sleeping over there. And then all of a sudden I see raindrops. Like there's no gravity, right? And I start to play with it. I bring my hand up. That's not really my hand. It's almost like an energy outline of what my hand would look like, and I'm playing with the water droplets where there's no gravity. It's weird, they're just floating, you know what I mean? And that was a profound experience that led me to keep going with my meditations. Again, I go on hiatuses and stuff, but as soon as I realized what was happening, and I realized how far I could go, like, you know, astral projecting and just coming out of your body. And, you know, you hear these, I mean, there's people's experiences, but, you know, you have that cord that attaches you to your physical body while your spirit goes and explores. And I knew I could do that, right? I knew I could do that. And I got scared. Like, it's scary. So I was like, okay, that's enough. So I like literally made myself go back into my body, ran out and told Michael what happened. I was so excited, but man, looking back on it, I wish I could have just done more. You know what I mean? But so those are two. So the last meditation that I had was a pretty overwhelming one, and it just gave me a headache afterwards. It kind of sucked. But so everything started out the same, but this time I didn't see the third eye. I didn't feel the, you know, my coming to my crown chakra. And what I saw the swirls, my body was vibrating, all the same things, but then my body goes into like a panic mode, like fight or flight. It's like, what are you doing? You're doing this again. We don't want to do this, you know? So my heart starts beating, and I desperately want to, but my body does not. And so the swirls are going on, and I'm fighting to keep my eyes closed, right? I don't want them to open. And then, so it's hard to explain the feeling, but it started to feel like I was in a rocket about to, taking off, right? You know how people are on the rocket and they're like, oh, here we go, you know, and they're like, their face is getting pulled back, and that's how it felt. It was pretty scary. And I wanted to keep going. See, this is my struggle. So if anybody has any advice, I would appreciate it. So now we're going on 30 minutes, but hopefully this is only going to take another 10. But those are my really profound meditation experiences. And I would love some advice to get past that anxiety body just not wanting me to go past where I've gone. Because I would really like to explore more, you know what I mean? I guess it's just getting over that fear, you know, but how do you get over that fear? Anxiety is like is my curse and my blessing at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, I almost need things. It's like, okay, this is it. The anxiety is the dark, right? And getting past all this is my light, and I can't have my light without my dark, because my dark is going to teach me how to get to my light. You know what I mean? So it's going to be kind of annoying. Okay, so let's get to, again, comment if you have any suggestions. Seriously, I need help with that. I've tried to reach out to like professionals and I haven't gotten any responses, and yeah, maybe I should try harder. But so let's get to my dreams. I'm a weird person. Maybe at least to myself I am. I have, since I was little, had really horrific dreams. Like, I'm talking death, violence, sadness. Like, they're pretty brutal. Like, brutal. Like, I've gotten so used to it by now that it doesn't really faze me. But I remember one time I told Michael about one of my dreams, and he just like looked at me like, what the fuck? You know, like, and I was like, oh. And sometimes they'll mess me up for the whole day, you know, and I'll kind of be in this weird funk, because I'm still resonating in the feelings that I got from that dream. But I'm not going to go into detail with those because they're kind of horrendous. But there is one dream that I had that was pretty weird. Me and Michael were driving in a car, right? And we're going on this bridge, and it's the types of bridges that go up to let the ships go through, right? So we're going up the bridge, or going across the bridge, and it starts to go up. And I'm like, we're like pretty much fucking right here. And I'm like, fuck, we're gonna go down, right? You know, the cars are gonna start to fall back. We're all gonna fucking fall this way. So I knew we were gonna die, right? So what makes this dream interesting, kind of cool, I guess, is that as we're going back, and I look over at Michael, I know what's gonna happen, right? Thank God my kids were in this dream, because I hate those fucking dreams. But it was just me and Michael, and I, on this side of me, my right side, I'm in the passenger seat, right? The cars are blowing up, right? They're exploding, and I felt the heat on my face, like legit felt heat. Like, how do you feel something like that in a dream? I understand emotions, I understand, you know, but heat, specifically on one side of my face, I don't understand that. It was tripping me out. Because I have dreams. I have death dreams. I have all these things. I don't, you know, people getting shot. Like, you don't feel it. I don't feel it. Like, so, like, to feel heat on one side of my face and not the other is just, it was mind-boggling. Has anybody had that? Like, for real, has anybody had something like that? Because I'm still wondering what that meant. I mean, that could mean a whole bunch of different things. And if you know about dreams, please let me know. But I mean, that was a long time ago. So whatever that was trying to teach me might have already passed or whatever. But so, and also too, I have, this next part is also going to lead me into my alien experience. So when I'm sleeping, I don't believe in demonic things. That's just, come on. Like, fear-based stuff, I don't, you know, unless it's like a growth thing like this. This is a fear of mine, talking to people and being vulnerable and feeling like I'm being judged and people are going to think I'm weird and not talk to me and all that. Like, that's a fear, but that's a fear that's going to get me towards a goal that it's going to get me towards my truth, right? It's gonna help me walk in my truth. But things like demonic stuff and things like that, I don't believe in. You know, it's fear-based control, right? Fear-based control, and a lot of that goes around. A lot of that is existing in this dimension to keep us in our shell, right? we're scared, we're not gonna go like out of our comfort zone. I know AJ posted something on her IG about you need to be, you know, go out of your comfort zone. It might be scary and all that, and it's gonna help you evolve. But yeah, I feel like the outside influences are more fear-based to keep us asleep. So I try not to pay attention to those things because I don't. But let's get back to my, I guess you'd call it a dream. But I get sleep paralysis, if that's the right word I'm using. It's where you, I don't even know if I'm awake or, with these ones at least, asleep. But it's where you're, no, these ones I'm in a dream. It's where you're asleep. In this one, I don't know. I'm not an expert. But in this one, I know I'm asleep and my body can't move, right? I don't believe in demonic stuff, so in this dream, there was a figure, right? Black figure at my bed, and in my head, it wasn't letting me move. And I was screaming for Michael, like legit screaming. I can hear him in the living room, so maybe I wasn't asleep. I don't know. But I don't believe in, you know, demonic stuff. So it's, for me, that was a sign of something trying to hold me back. You know what I mean? It could have been my dark side trying to hold me back. The shell that's trying to keep me from being who I'm meant to be. And I'm screaming for Michael. I'm screaming. It won't let me wake up. It won't let me wake up. I want to wake up, you know? I've had quite a few of those, and it's torturous and annoying. But anyways, let me know if you have those too, and what you do and how you interpret them. I'm very curious. So the last part, I don't want to make this video too long, you're just hearing me talk, is about my alien experiences. And people are going to think I'm weird, you know, and this is when the doubt comes in and I get scared and I don't want to be judged or think of differently, or you know, I don't expect people can believe in whatever they want to believe in. You know, it's just that's what makes the world beautiful and exciting, and we all have, like I said, live in your truth. Live in your truth. We all have, and every truth can't be the same. It's impossible. You cannot have the same truth. So if you don't believe in what I'm about to talk about, then that's cool. I still love you. So, I mean, they're not that extreme. Like, I didn't get fucking taken up into a spaceship and, like, you know, poked at, like I've heard stories of. But, I was sleeping, right, in my bed, and this happened in Santa Rosa too. This happened almost right around the same time I had that meditation. I think it actually happened after, if I'm not mistaken. But, and it happened here when we first moved here. We've been here for like 4 years. But I'm sleeping in my bed and I wake up and I'm on my back. Okay, so this is probably why I get anxiety on my back. I'm on my back and my head is turned to the right. Okay, and I can't turn it. And I see in the corner of my eye an alien figure right here on the side of my bed. And it's keeping me turning that way, like I'm not supposed to be seeing something, you know what I mean? So there's nothing bad that happens. I'm just fully aware that I am paralyzed and being forced to turn that way, and I see a figure, an alien outline of a alien. And I only saw one. I don't know if there was more than one, because I mean, you can't really see too much, you know, when you're forced to be turned that way. But I was like desperately trying to look this way, right? Trying to look at what was happening. I didn't feel anything. It was just like a panic feeling, you know, you feel like you're being controlled and you don't know what to do, right? So I've had 2 of those experiences that's the same thing. I don't know how to interpret them. You know, was scared. I think about it now, and you know, I rather not have those experiences, to be honest. Like, I mean, who would? I rather have not gone through those experiences, you know, in all honesty, but it happened and it is what it is. But I don't know. I don't know. You know, people believe in good aliens, bad aliens. People don't believe in aliens at all, and that's cool. But you know, who knows what was going on. But those are my experiences, and I hope you guys can help me with my meditation problem. Let me know if you have the same kinds of dreams, and I would like to get to know you to see if we're kind of the same. But, so, yeah, that's it. That's my first video blog, and it's like 40 minutes long. I'm so sorry. I hope you don't fucking get tired of my voice. But, if I have to walk away with one thing to say to you guys, it is it's very important to walk in your truth. I think I'm gonna say that a lot. And walk in your truth and find what resonates with you. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to be happy, and whatever makes you happy, you keep going for it. And don't be scared to take, like, this is such a huge risk for me. Like, I know I have a lot of friends at the gym, and you'd be like, what the fuck? You know, I've never talked like this before. So I've only shared these experiences with my husband and I think one other person. At least the meditations with one other person. So, yeah. Walk in your truth. Find your truth. You know what your truth is. You'll find it. Work on not building that shell every day. Try and let the light out. You know, and if something bad's happening, try and figure out what it's trying to teach you, because it's trying to push you more towards the light of who you really are, not what you were conditioned to be. I feel like this world would be a lot better place if we didn't argue and try to prove ourselves right and others wrong. Because it can't be one way. It's gonna be how many people are on this planet. That's how many ways it's gonna be. Like, honestly, like, come on. So when people start to argue about stupid things and get mad at each other and cause hate and separation and dysfunction, it's a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. And honestly, I catch myself doing that sometimes. You know, I catch myself judging, and I catch myself, and it's so conditioned in us that it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. But the first step is to be conscious of it. You know what I mean? So, please comment. Please only post good comments. You can DM me if you have private experiences that you want to share. I hope I hear from you guys. If not, I will be talking to you later. And if you have any questions or things that you want me to talk about, feel free to ask them and I will talk about them. I am now an open book, officially. I'm going to do my best to speak my truth, walk in my truth, and live in my truth. So, again, that takes time. You can't be perfect. So, love you guys, and I will see you next time. Have a good Wednesday.